All right. Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm super excited for you all to be here. We have the beautiful, the talented, the multifaceted Leslie Means from Her View from Home coming to us live from Nebraska this morning. Hi, Leslie.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing this. We were laughing because obviously, we're talking before we do this interview, and Leslie and I both worked in TV, so we're used to this whole thing, but we're laughing because like we're sitting in front of Post-it notes and I have like an empty office because we're moving, things have changed, but I love that we have a similar background here, Leslie, and you're like cool with this. Tell us like where you started.
First of all, can I say you look all lovely and you have like a tank top on, and we are meeting.
Look at my PJ pants.
We are in tonight a blizzard is coming, so that's neat.
Oh no, that does stink. I'm not gonna lie.
For the whole country, like it's been warm for people, and now snow is coming. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
We're in Florida. I tell that to all my friends. A lot of space down here.
I know. So I have my Christmas mug. But it's appropriate today because it's
awesome. Well, tell us about yourself, Leslie, because I love the fact, and you've started this community, and just to give everybody a quick primer on what Her View from Home is, it's obviously a website, but it's also a really active social media community where a lot of moms share their personal stories, they share advice. It has become just a breeding ground for love is what I like to say. It's just a very warm and welcoming online community for moms. And anyone who has a kid knows it's so important to feel like you're part of the group because there are some really lonely moments, especially in early motherhood. And I love, Leslie, that you brought this to life literally from nothing. So tell us, like I said, you were in TV. What were you doing and how did you come up with this idea?
Okay. I know. I'm gonna try to make it, fairly edited here.
No, we've got time here. No time.
My background, obviously, like we said, is TV. So I was in TV for 7 years. And in 2010, my second daughter was born. And I needed out of that routine. TV, the world, I was working early mornings for being the news anchor and all that good stuff. So, but when I left TV, I was actually the host of a local talk show that highlighted the best of Nebraska people and places. So we interviewed, moms, businesswomen, everybody throughout the area. And that is what I loved about journalism in general. I always loved telling stories and hearing people's stories. I mean, they'd come in, we'd have a cup of coffee, and we would just chat for an hour. I mean, it was fantastic, but I still needed out of that business world in those hours. And so I left in 2010 and actually started working part-time at our local chamber of commerce. And so suddenly I'm in this like business world, but I also have this television background. And I desperately missed the connection that I got to people just for telling stories. And I had remembered in 2008 or 2007, my old boss in TV said, you should really start a blog. And I thought, a blog? Like, what am I going to do? Talk about my cat? You have to understand, I graduated college in 2004, so we weren't even in the Facebook world. Like, it's just crazy to me how much it's changed.
It's changed a lot,
yeah. Right? And so, but then I thought, well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take her advice and I will, start this little blog. And it took me weeks to figure out a name for it because I will talk about listening to the whispers and listen to God whispers. Faith is a very important part of the website and important in my life as well. And it's funny now you look back at how everything happens for a very specific reason. But it took me like 3 weeks to come up with the Her View from Home name because in my heart, I knew, it's the weirdest thing and it gives me chills thinking about it, but I knew it was going to be bigger than I anticipated. Mm-hmm. And long story short, we won. I had 2 business partners with me as well. We won a business plan competition in 2012 that was like $10,000, which was everything. It was grant money. And it was like this launching pad for us to get this website started. Because, we had nothing. But of course, when you win that money, it's gone in like a flash once you buy, a laptop and you hire a local web guy to do your site. So we're sitting here in 2012 with the site and no money. And I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm working still at our Chamber of Commerce, and I have my babies. And I was working on Her View from Home during my lunch hours, at night when the kids went to bed, and I had to go door to door, business to business, to get money to keep this website going. So I would go into like local business women that I knew, and I'd be like, hey, we have this website. It's small, but I knew with my media background, the different realms of advertising. So I said, will you give me, $50 and we'll put your brand up on our website? And they were like, okay, sure, Leslie, we trust you. Like, I had to do that for so long to even get the site running, because it was just nuts. And in 2015, so it was small, and it started very local. We would have writers, and at first we didn't pay writers and all that good stuff. But I kept feeling like we needed to make it work. I kept listening to those whispers. I was like, no, this is going to be bigger. This is going to be bigger. But in 2015, May of 2015, see, I have so many stories here to tell, but this is important. It was a low month. Like, I think we had 30,000 people on the site that entire month. And now, we'll get that easily in a day. Mm-hmm. And I went to bed one night. I told my business partner, I'm like, I don't think we can do this. Like, I don't know how I'm going to juggle this with my kids and my job. And I don't think we could do this. And she agreed with me. And then I woke up that next morning and thought, no, like, it was the weirdest thing. It was such a whisper, because I'm like, no, what am I doing? I have to continue. This is everything. And then I felt from that morning on the biggest push to keep it going. And actually, that next fall in 2016 was the first time that we had a major, major viral article. And it was because of, and we were still small. I think our Facebook page was like 10,000 people or something. And it was actually just me at this point. My business partners had left because it's so hard to run a business that's not making any money, right? And these other women were moms, and they're like, Leslie, like, we have to be moms. We can't do both. And so I was like, well, I got to keep going because it's a whisper. I have to listen. And so fall of 2016, I received an email from a woman who said, I found you guys, and I've been praying about a place where I could share my story. And she said a lot of news sites had picked this up and had ran, news stories on it. But she said, I want to tell a story in my own words. And I would cry about it. I prayed about it, and I really think that you guys are a place that it needs to be. It was her friend who had committed suicide from postpartum depression. And she said, I need a place where I'm going to tell the story, and I think you are it. I don't know how she found us. We were small. We were only like 10,000, Facebook fans. And that story went nuts on Her View from Home and took it to another level of viral. And so many people found us, and so many women wrote in and said, thank you for, sharing her story. And it just, to me, proved that there was so much purpose behind what we were doing on Her View. And I could tell you so many stories of time and time again when there's such a greater purpose in what we are doing in this community. And all these women are the reason that it's thriving and that it keeps going. And all these really strangers from across the globe who share their story. And there's such a purpose and community in what we're doing. And I'm all over the place, but it's just such a passion.
I think you are speaking to something that, obviously I feel tremendously attached to as well. And I feel I had a similar calling. You come out of a job like journalism where you're privileged. It's a privilege to share information with people. And you probably still have that calling, because I think as writers, your community that you've built on Her View, you feel, it sounds silly to people who don't understand, and people will roll their eyes at the term mom blogger, but you feel called to share a story, to share information. And I think what you guys do is so valuable. I strive to do it individually on my site too. I mean, for every person who comes out with a true story about something they went through, especially in motherhood, it emboldens that next woman to feel okay about herself, to make the call to her doctor, to say, what's going on? I don't feel like myself, to reach out to a friend. I mean, we are the generation of women that we are connected more than our mothers ever were, and certainly their mothers before them. And I feel we're lucky in that way. And that's what I think is so special about this group, is that, you know, you obviously are putting out the great content too, but what people don't get a chance to see behind the scenes is that we, as your team of writers, because I've written several articles for you, are also connected sort of on the back end of things with the Facebook page and, you know, supporting each other and uplifting each other in that realm as well. And it just means so much. I do have to ask, like, in addition to that story where you know that you helped at least one person by putting it out there, what else have you heard over the years that's kept you going?
It's, we had, my husband likes to say it's our butthole moment. I must say, her view stays away from harsh language, not because I'm some proper, you know, little girl over here in middle Nebraska, but because of my TV background. I mean, my gosh, if we cussed on TV, like, we were fine, you know? And so I
swear all over Twitter now. It feels good. I'm just going to say.
Crazy.
To hold up, but I get it. It is. We're trained to be these, like, you know, like news robots, but it is good because you have a real keen sense of how to not offend as many people as possible.
Exactly. So in January of 2017, I did not have any help yet, and I'm like so pregnant. I'm like 7 months pregnant with my last little dude, and I was editing late that night. It was a Sunday night. It's so funny how this happens. And I read this article that was going up for tomorrow, and it was called "Don't Be a Butthole Wife." I think that's what it is. Don't be a butthole wife. And I thought, butthole. Well, I don't know if we can say that, but I don't really care. I'm so tired. I love the article. I'm just going to keep it.
Right.
And published it that morning. It went nuts. It was nuts. It was, we had 40,000 people on the website at one time just reading that article.
And it was about a woman who lost her husband, right?
Yes, Debbie, she's amazing. And she also said, this was such a whisper that I gave this to you. It was a perspective of her husband passed away when they were young. And she talked about in her second marriage, just the little letting go of the little things, not worrying so much when there's shoes on the floor or laundry. It was such a beautiful piece. And I think about it. I mean, I think about it not because it was so huge, but just her marriage advice all the time. I mean, at least a few times a week. And it just propelled us to another. We had like 10 million people on the site that month. Nuts.
Yeah.
And she is just the most humble, gracious writer. And she's like, well, it was all a God whisper. It was meant to be for her view. And once again, it just took us to a new level of people finding us. And I'm just like, man, how cool that we got to be the place to share that.
Yeah. And what does it tell you about the stresses of motherhood that you've seen this kind of reaction to a lot of your writing, a lot of your writers' writing too?
I just think people need a place to feel like they can just be themselves, you know? And it's funny because when you're inundated with this every single day, you feel like we've had this for years, but really the blog world is it's still so new. I mean, my first daughter was born in 2008, but I wasn't even online then. Like I didn't have the smartphone. I didn't have that community. And the difference I will tell you from 2008 to having a baby in 2017, so different because I had that community of women. I was talking to people when I was up in the middle of the night, nursing my little guy. Like I had these women and it's unreal the relationships you have with strangers on the internet. Yeah. It's so beautiful and it's so real.
It's powerful. And I would say in the middle of the night, that was, I remember very distinctly several nights being up with my son and nursing him and feeling just this tremendous sense of loneliness and of exhaustion and confusion and all the sort of attendant craziness of early motherhood. And that's where I found my sanity, was on my phone. And I thought, gosh, if I can read one article and it make me feel this good, wouldn't it be nice to share my experience with other moms so they also don't feel alone? Yep. But I laugh because, you know, you go from something like TV, which has been a defined industry for so long, and you veer off into the category of digital media or blogging or, you know, even managing a social channel, and people are like, okay, you know, they start to think like, this is like some sort of made up job, or, you know, what is a blogger anyway? What do you want the world to know about mom bloggers? It's like the most annoying term. I will fully accept it. In fact, I think my Instagram profile said at one point, one of those annoying mom bloggers, but we're owning it now. It's a good thing too. Right?
I will fully, okay. When we, back in 2008, I believe, back in the TV world, we knew of, you know, the biggies, like HuffPost when they started, and I think Scary Mommy might have started then, but that was it. Like, I never read any blogs. In TV back then, it was, you don't quote those sites. They're not, you know, they're not proper. They're not in news. And now I'm like, whew, man, everybody was so wrong, because those sites are everything that I didn't make fun of the mom blogger term, but I didn't like to be called that at first. Yeah. Because I thought, no, we are a website for all women, and we talk about marriage and parenting and everything. And now I'm like, please call me a mom blogger, because you don't have a clue. Like, you don't know how unbelievably successful these women are online. It's insane. And the communities that are formed. And this is, Her View is by far the most difficult job I've ever had, but the most fulfilling. And I'm seriously, we joke about how I'm going to be doing this when I'm 90 in the nursing home, because I love it. It's so amazing. So I'm like, please call me a mom blogger. I love it. Like, let's do it. Let's embrace it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's like first experience with the mom bloggers was Glennon Doyle with Momastery, of course, who's still on the scene in a huge way. She's a writer and does print now. She's with Oprah. I mean, she's everywhere. Right. But yeah, people like to be like, okay, but I'll tell you this, when you're upset at 4 a.m. and crying in the middle of the night for no reason with your baby, and you scroll on Facebook and find someone, you can thank a mom blogger for making you feel a little less.
100%.
It's insane. I mean, what we go through, it is. So you have 3 kids too. Let's just talk about some personal stuff too. I know this is, your baby just turned 1.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is like, I'm going to break a rule. I'm going to ask you if you're done having kids.
I'm done having kids. I'm 36, so I'm done having babies. Yes. I was already in the like advanced maternal age when I was pregnant with him. So
I was 35 when I had my daughter, who's 10 and a half months, and they're like, oh, you're a geriatric pregnancy. I was like, I hate that. Did you say geriatric? Can we at least say like advanced age? Right. Or we're just going to, like, really? It's crazy. But I mean, I'm asking because you have so much going on at home. So like, how do your days look that you have, and you have two older girls as well.
Yes.
So
yes. So I have a first of all, my husband is like everything. He is so supportive. And for so many years when Her View wasn't even bringing in a dime, he just kept saying, go for it, Les. I believe in you. And so he's been so huge at supporting me. And he edits all the videos for me that you guys may see too on Facebook. So, I mean, he's everything. The girls are in school, and Keithan is my little guy, and he's in daycare. I have a fantastic daycare lady. And so when you say it takes a tribe to help raise kids, oh my gosh, that's so true. I would not be able to do Her View without all the help that I've been given. It's everything.
Yeah, I love that too, because, as a work from home parent, and this doesn't just go for writers, this goes for anybody, whether you do sales, whatever you do, you feel a little invalidated and a little like your work doesn't matter as much because you are in pajama pants, right, doing, and maybe your income stream is is varied month to month, but what you do is real and it's important. And you do have to surround yourself. I always try to tell moms, if they're staying home, even if they're not working a job to make money from home, you need help. If you can try to get the kids to someone for a couple hours a week, this maintains your sanity. And like, no longer do we have to be embarrassed about, mom, but I also need help once in a while. No, like, yes, you do. And yes, because you're a human being who likes to go to the bathroom alone. Exactly. So you know, because
go to Target, walk around, get a cup of coffee. You need that for your sanity.
Yes. We were up last night. We have I don't know, we have the flu. Something is going through our house where 3 out of our 5 people have been vomiting nonstop. And I like literally fall down to the ground and worship our sitter when she walks in. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Hey, now take them for 2 hours while I go be productive. I have to give a quick shout out because I have we have the comments up on here, and because I'm a little bit remedial in my technological abilities on this
I love
site,
it.
I have to look on one computer for the comments. So Jordan Harrell is here, and Lauren Eberspacher, and Christina says hi. All these wonderful, wonderful people that help to keep the site up and running. And I know there have been a bunch of other comments that have come through, and we are so grateful that you guys have tuned in. I've wanted to do this for so long, Leslie, because you have been like the silent force behind this site, and you have kept the wheels turning for so long. And it's just so cool to get to know you and hear your story. I feel like people, hearing where you come from makes it all that more special to see what you put out there. So very cool. And tell us what's next. Like, what can we expect from the site, from your Facebook page, whatever?
So I have to say that the writers, I have this weird now connection with all the Her View writers. We have I think 750 people now on our own private team. I have suddenly become, yes, I want to be a place where women can share or where, mothers can feel connected. But I also feel this very, very strong connection to all the writers. I want them to see how amazing they are, that their words matter. It doesn't matter how many followers they have. It doesn't matter who they know, but their story is so important. So I'm going to continue on that path of helping those writers know that their story is important, and to always be a place where their words can be seen. That's been a big part of Her View, and from the beginning, place where their words can be seen and a chance to make a little money in your pocket. From the business side, I mean, we plan, like I said, we want to be 90 in the nursing home doing this. So we joke, now I'm going to say it out loud, but sticky notes are a big thing. Like, we have these sticky notes.
We have to talk about that before we go, but yeah, okay.
I tell all the writers that we need to put your goals on a sticky note, not because it's magical, but because you see it. And when you see it, I work harder for it. You actually believe it can happen. And our next sticky note goal is 500,000 followers by January 1, and then 1 million by 2020. And I actually think we can get there sooner, which is nuts, like crazy.
I the stuff you guys are putting out, I told you, you are like single-handedly responsible for making millions of people cry. Like every night, not in a bad way. It's the one that I tagged, and I think it was Ginger Hughes who wrote. Ginger, love you, girl, but you have made me like my mascara run like a time or two.
I think it's been shared. I don't even know, 43. Like it's nuts. Like nuts how many millions of people have seen it.
I know. And I was going to say, you guys put that kind of stuff out all the time. I mean, like, what is beautiful is that these pieces, in some cases, have existed in text for a while, but you're putting them in video, and they're so impactful. And it's really, really great. And I do think, like, sometimes maybe we're at the park with our kids, and of course we're on our phones. Like, unless you're, helping them on the monkey bars or something, everybody takes a quick scroll, and you see something like that, and sometimes that reminds you, okay, I do need to slow down.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to enjoy this. So like, for everything you guys put up there, I feel like it's just a great reminder to sort of savor these moments of motherhood, because it flies by so quick.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love the community. I love the vibe, the people, the readers. I mean, I get so emotional thinking of it, but we have plans to just grow and accept more people and get more stories shared. I mean, that's the goal.
Okay, and one more thing, if people are interested in sharing their stories or their words with you, they can submit. Tell us quickly, like.
Yep. On the website, there's a tab, and I think it's like about her or right for her, and just click in there, and there's details of how you can submit your story. You don't even have to have a blog. I think we have a God Gave Me Sons piece that we did as a video too, and Kayla wrote that. I don't even think she has a blog. It's one of our most popular articles of all time. You know, so you do not have to be quote unquote anyone in the blog world to share your story. Every woman has a story, and we want to hear it.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. Yeah. And don't be scared or feel like your words don't deserve to be shared, because I promise you're helping someone by putting something out there.
Yes.
So.
100%.
All right, Leslie, it has been super fun. Cheers in our
cheers with my Christmas mug.
No 80-degree mug, and you and your girl. Come visit me in Orlando anytime.
I will. All of you people are in Florida. It's amazing.
We should have a writers conference in Orlando.
You should. There's so many. Like, all you guys are like taking your pictures on the beach. And I'm like, well, I'll be at Target with the 6 inches of snow behind me or something.
It's nice. We don't get the white Christmas, but there are benefits. So herviewfromhome.com is the website, guys, and search them on Facebook too in the search bar. I promise you will love everything that comes through your feed. Leslie, I will see you or talk to you, I'm sure, sooner rather than later on Facebook. But thank you again for joining.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.